Sometimes we dig. We don't like what we find.
Hello.
Hello, hello, Nadia Chambers from Big O Bell Media. Man, I've been waiting to talk to you two
Woo!
today. Congratulations on your new series, The Better Sister, Prime Video, May 29th. All
Yes, thank
episodes dropping.
you.
Man, bravo, bravo, bravo.
Oh,
I, of course, have watched all eight, have so many questions. And the first thing I really want to just ask you all, because there's some metaphorical things in there, and I want to kind of hear, of course, from the folks that brought this to life. I want to hear your perspective on it. And one is about what is my fear? So that's why I kind of like zoomed in on it a lot, but I know it's something deeper than just me being scared. But like the submersion of water, drowning is not something I'm very keen to, or whatever you want to put it
experience.
through. But there's so much of that being emphasized in that. And I know it's not this surface layer that, hey, this event almost happened and da 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 da. Because of how the shots are even being done as well, too, lets you know like we're supposed to feel something here. And obviously, at unease because of my fear of it, obviously.
Yes.
But also, as the viewers, I'm still trying to picture what the characters are feeling when they're in it. So, could you express, what you want the viewers to take from it?
Absolutely. Oh, we love that. That is such a wonderful observant. That's like makes us so happy. Absolutely. Water is a huge theme. I think fundamentally the water, there's something womb-like about water, right? It's sort of, it's primordial. It's where we begin and, so maybe where you return to in some sense. And yet water also, and water is cleansing, water is, we get baptized literally or figuratively. And yet water can also be the place, can be a grave, for some people. And the way that water shifts your senses, things are amplified and muffled underneath water. Things become clearer when water is there, or they become more opaque. It has this sort of shape shifting quality, literally, but also as an element of our lives, a fundamental force in our lives. It is life-giving and it can be taking away. And so it was so important to us that it was a to pun intended, it was a river that ran through the show.
Right, right.
And I think also visually, these events, Chloe almost drowning as a little girl, Ethan, almost drowning as a little boy, and how it runs through, and then again how water continues to play for these sisters as a mechanism of cleansing, as a mechanism of clarity, and as something that can ultimately spell their doom. So we're so grateful to you for asking that question and picking up on all that.
Beautiful answer. Thank you so much for that. Was there anything you want to add to that, Regina, at all?
I was just thinking about our director of the second block, Leslie Hope. We talked a lot. She was so committed to this is very important. We've
Yes.
got to, shoot through this and make this like the water theme really resonated with her, which made us even more
Yes.
excited about continuing to mine what we could from it. But yeah, I think the original trauma of the family, that we show a little bit, and then the continue like this, it's so dangerous. There's so much danger in it. Olivia said it beautifully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got a loaded one here. So obviously, and I haven't had a chance to read the novel, but I have not been more intrigued ever to pick up a book than after watching this. The title, The Better Sister, would imply a measure of competition of sorts. And honestly, you guys stay all the way to the very end for that, because I was to the very last moment said, I'm not quite seeing it until there was a particular part at the end. I was like, oh, I see how that's an amazing title. But what's really interesting with this is that Lorraine's character, Catherine, has this moment with her, and she's expressing how Black women work more in unison. There's no
Yeah.
competition. They work together. So you understand these two sisters who are white and they have a complicated background and family dynamic and so on. And then ultimately, we see that grow into something really beautiful, because at the end of it, I felt it was just between two sisters just trying to look out for each other's interests and their family. I want to know for you, when you have a title of such, but the story may not be completely on board with it, and you get to have that last aha moment to everybody with it. Just how beautiful was it for you to be able to craft such?
Um, it's such a central piece of this constant shifting of who's better, who's worse, who's worthy, who's not, who's poor, who's rich. So, we're always aware of these things in every moment when we're crafting scenes or episodes. It's not something that we lose sight of. And thank you for pointing it out. But I think it's like that in life. We're better and we're worse. And in our families, we have these roles that are cast for us, and sometimes you can't break out of them, and sometimes you can. And but the book definitely helped us a great deal with that theme, and it's all in the writing, and we just had a great place to play in.
Most of these courtroom dramas, murder mystery, once there's a verdict in the courtroom, it's time to go home. That's the end of the show. And I love that by episode 6, I was like, wait, just more episodes here. And there was so much that was loaded into those final 2 episodes. Now, again, as bringing this to life from the novel, when you saw that we weren't going to just take the traditional route here, what was sort of excitement, and specifically tell me about loading up episode 7 and 8 the way you all did.
Absolutely. Well, again, it's such a wonderful observation that, this belongs to a wonderful lineage of these kinds of shows, these murder mysteries, these thrillers, or courtroom shows. But we always wanted to subvert some of that expectation. We wanted an audience to get to experience something they maybe hadn't seen before. And so the trial as it exists in the show is so much about the sisters, and it's about bringing out this Ethan, but it's really about the stories that they're telling. What version of themselves are they presenting? Are they going to tell the truth? When are they going to tell the truth? Public perception versus private reality. And so we really wanted to kind of use the trial and all of the performances, and Gloria Rubin, who plays their lawyer, she's so amazing. And so that was so interesting to us, but also the truth isn't what necessarily comes out in these formal structures, right? It's more how they're navigating it. And then we got to really get to the truth in the 7th and the 8th episodes. And there was so much more to unpack. And it's also in this show, when Ethan gets off, you still don't know who murdered Adam, right? So spoiler alert, right? So then it's like, okay, now we have to figure out who actually did it. And you've raised the suspicion about every character. And so winding it up in that way to really discover at the end, in the moment where it really matters, who did it and why it's so important that it comes out then. That was one of the beautiful things about the structure of the story. And it was so fun to get to build it up that way, and then let 7 and 8 be crazy.
Really quickly on time, I really need to digest that answer, but really quickly because of time here, because I haven't read the novel. Is there more story to be told?
There is more. The first season covers the novel, so it is you get that, and maybe the first season has a little bit more. We were lucky enough to get to explore and build these characters, and we hope that this first season is incredibly satisfying and a really juicy end. But we love these characters and we love thinking about them, so we like to imagine what goes on for them in the world.
I'm ready to let's talk offline somewhere.
Exactly.
I get this limited series, but sometimes limited series have 2 seasons. So final
you
question:
go.
If we don't come back to these characters, would you like to go explore those other books that are in conjunction to this, The Ex and the Wife?
That's a great question.
We love Alafair. We love her writing. We would be very, very happy to continue to play in her world.
Yeah.
Amazing. Olivia, Regina, thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you.
today. This was so much fun. And once again, world, you can check out The Better Sister Prime Video May 29th. It's been so much of a fun ride with this show and so fun talking to you both today. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And such great questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ridiculous.